Vista Boulevard on Resolution 8811, it would seem that this board is putting the wagon before the horse, as there is no position in the current CSEA contract for this placement of this individual. If you are sincere about the creation of this position, approve a contract with the CSEA. In these tough times, and given the world events that could put our economy into a recession very soon, if this increase in grade is an effort to give a raise to an employee because they said they have found a job in the private sector that pays more money, let them take it. Public service is not for them. As for the MOA, why bother? This administration does not respect MOAs, even in their own office. On Resolution 8911, there is no resolution for Ms. Marco's resignation. I would expect there would be a resolution declaring her resignation. I would like to know where this town is going to find the cash to pay for the new position and the unemployment benefits. I remember quite clearly 2 weeks ago, we were told there was a shortage of cash in this town.
My name is Diane Marco. I live at 842 Curry Road. First, let me say I want to take this opportunity to thank all of the residents who placed their trust in me over the past 10 years. I have had the pleasure to represent you as a town council member, a deputy supervisor, and most recently as project coordinator for the aging and the youth of our town. Those of you who know me realize I've always went about my responsibilities in the most professional way, keeping in mind my job was to serve you. Last week I received a letter from Town Supervisor Frank Delgallo indicating my position as project coordinator was being terminated due to the fact I failed to complete my probationary period satisfactorily. At this time, I wish to address my concerns surrounding the manner in which my termination was conducted, and to ask the supervisor to consider the needs of all our citizens and employees he is accountable to. During my tenure as coordinator, I was never informed by any member of the town's administration that my performance was unsatisfactory. Areas of concern were never addressed with me. I was performing my duties in a satisfactory fashion, and had concerns been discussed with me, they could have been addressed. My relationship with the residents I served is rewarding, and together we planned many ways to enrich all the programs at the senior center. When I received my letter of termination, I was shocked. The letter contained no reasons for my termination. It simply read, "You are entitled to a hearing with the town supervisor." I arranged to meet with the town supervisor and was told he did not have to give me a reason why I was sent the termination letter. I would have thought, after my tenure on the town board and the year and a half of faithful service, I would have been professionally given the reasons for my termination. Supervisor Delgallo, I, like so many others in our town, put our faith and trust in you. As the supervisor of our town, we look to you to be visionary, who would make our town a better place for all of us. The time has come for you to accept those responsibilities you inherited when you took your oath of office. At that time, you raised your right hand, you placed your left hand on the Bible, and said, "I do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and to faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Town Supervisor." I ask you to reflect on the words in your oath of office. Residents and employees will no longer accept you telling them, "I am the supervisor," or "I don't have to give you an answer." Someone once told me, "You need to listen before you can be heard." I ask you please listen to the people who elected you. Work with the members of the town board to solve the serious problems that exist in our town today. Cooperation with the town board can and will bring positive results. As for my termination, I was disappointed. At this time, I would like to remain in my position as project coordinator until the town board is able to give me a date and time for a fair and impartial hearing, as stated in your letter of February 16, 2011. I will wait to hear from the town board as to the final outcome of this matter. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Ron Severson, 3411 Gildan Avenue. I come forward to speak on the Resolution 89.11. Obviously, this resolution is uncalled for because obviously, at least in my opinion, I believe that the supervisor was not acting properly in terminating Ms. Marco. To say that Ms. Marco did not perform her duties just beyond the pale. I have witnessed the hard work that she has done for the last 14 months at the senior center. She has done a tremendous job. She has turned things around. The people are very happy with what she's done. There are many residents who would attest to that. And I would also remind the supervisor that she was appointed by the full town board. She wasn't appointed just by you. And I believe that the entire town board would have to be consulted before you can terminate her. If you had problems with her service during her so-called probationary period, why did you vote on January 1st of this year to reappoint her to the position? And so I do very strongly urge that Resolution 89.11 be defeated. Thank you.
My name is Karen Malazinski and I live at 402 Deer Path. My statements tonight are in regards to resolution number 89.11. First of all, I am happy to see that the resolutions are on the agenda because last meeting there were several resolutions during personnel, resolutions regarding personnel that were not on the agenda, so the residents could not review them prior to the meeting. We couldn't even review them during the meeting because they were presented as they were voted on. So tonight we do have them in front of us, although 89.11 does not have some detail, and I would like clarification, and I would like it stated for the record whether or not this is a full-time or part-time position, whether or not it includes employee benefits, full or part benefits, and what the annual salary is. Thank you.
John Polino, 213, can't hear me?
Can you hear me now? Yeah. 213 Dolan Drive, Rotterdam, New York. You know, I left town office, I swore I'd never come back here and address the council again. But I gotta do it tonight, I really do. Because certain things just can't be let go. You wanna hide behind the veil of secrecy, or hide behind the veil of I don't have to, or I'm not going to. It's a phony way of doing business. There's a more important thing in life, and that's called a moral value. This lady deserves an explanation. Anybody up there enough manhood, decency, or anything inside of them to sit down and say to her, why? Does she deserve that after all the years of service she's given this town? You all forget how hard she campaigned for you. Some of you sitting up there without her support may not be sitting up there right now. So you got a decision to make. This has nothing to do with John. John DeGiorgio was a dear friend of mine. I told him that before I stepped up here to make any comments tonight. The United States as a nation is sitting here and we're facing unemployment, an economy that's falling apart, people wondering about where their next meals are coming from. And you choose to take women on, move them from here, move them from there. When are you going to start dealing with the real problems in this town? When are you going to start dealing with, what are we going to do about the next budget? When are you going to start dealing with, what are you going to do about our youth? What are you going to do about our infrastructure that's falling apart? We're going to sit there and say, we're God Almighty, so we can do that? I ask you to do one thing. One thing. Look out there this evening. Look at the people that are out there. They're here to tell you one thing. They don't want her to go. They want her to stay here. Maybe you think you got the power, the authority, and the ability to do it. I don't think you do. And I, for one, will be the first one to start a financial campaign, and I'll support it, as other people will, to see to it that this is brought to a court of law, this is dealt with in a court of law. Deal with these trivial matters, but they're not, because you're dealing with people. Get over it, folks. Stop doing political agendas. Stop taking it out on people. Stop persecuting women, and get on with the business of running this town. Thank you for your time tonight.